Stop acting surprised, my brother muttered, chin tilted smugly toward the glitter banner stretched across the hall. Happy 7th, Emma. The words pulsed in my chest like a bruise. This was supposed to be my daughter's day. I had reserved the venue, paid $3,900, arranged every tiny detail she asked for. The balloons, the colors, the cake design. Yet here I stood, surrounded by cheers for his child. My mother's shrug was casual, cutting deeper than knives. We thought you'd understand. Emma is family too. Understand? That my daughter was invisible? That her joy was negotiable? Beside me, my little girl smoothed the powder blue sequins on her dress, the one she'd chosen weeks ago with hope sparkling in her eyes. She looked up at me, lips trembling, and whispered, "It's okay, maybe next year." That broke something inside me. Because she didn't fight. She already believed she wasn't worthy of today. Hi everyone, my name is Sienna, I'm 30. And in that moment, staring at a party that wasn't ours, I realized betrayal doesn't always come with shouting. Sometimes it comes wrapped in balloons and cake, with people you call family clapping in the background. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I turned quietly, holding my daughter's hand as we walked out. Behind us, the room swelled with laughter and camera flashes, none of it meant for her. The night air outside was cool, sharp, almost cleansing. My phone buzzed in my pocket, reminders of deposits I had placed for upcoming family events. My brother's anniversary, my cousin's engagement, Mom's charity dinner. All prepaid. All expected. I sat in the car, opened each confirmation, and cancelled them. One by one. Coldly. By midnight, my phone lit up with notifications. The family group chat roared alive. Confusion, guilt, then fury. They noticed the silence of my wallet before they ever noticed the silence of my daughter. And for the first time, that silence felt like power. The group chat burned like a wildfire on my screen. First came the frantic question marks from Mom. What happened? Did you cancel the church dinner deposit? Then my brother chimed in, his arrogance bleeding through every text. Sienna, this isn't funny. Put the money back. Emma's party was worth it. Worth it? He had stolen my daughter's joy and now demanded my silence to fund his celebrations. My thumb hovered over the keyboard, but I didn't reply. Silence had already spoken once, it would speak again. I sat on the edge of my daughter's bed that night, watching her fall asleep clutching the stuffed unicorn she'd begged me to buy for today. Her small chest rose and fell with uneven breaths, her lashes wet from the tears she wouldn't let me see. That image welded itself into my memory like iron, her 7th birthday stolen, yet she still whispered, maybe next year. The anger inside me wasn't loud. It was cold, controlled. Like water turning into ice. And ice, I knew, could cut deeper than fire. By morning, the calls started. Aunt Linda first, voice sharp, judgmental. You embarrassed the family. Canceling like that? Grow up, Sienna. Then my cousin chimed in with venom. Do you even care about anyone besides yourself? Every word was proof. Proof of what I had always suspected. They didn't see me as a sister, a daughter, a cousin. They saw me as a resource. A walking wallet. The more they barked, the calmer I became. I brewed coffee, sat at my kitchen table, and read every accusation as if they were lines in a poorly written play. And in a strange way, I felt lighter. Because clarity has a way of burning illusions to ash. At noon, Mom finally called. Her voice cracked, but not from guilt, from desperation. Sienna, your brother's anniversary is in 2 weeks. The venue says the payment bounced. Fix this. Please. I looked at the phone, then at my daughter still drawing rainbows at the kitchen counter, her innocence untouched for now. And for the first time in my life, I said the word they feared most. No. The silence that followed was heavier than any scream. The silence on the other end lasted a full 10 seconds, thick enough to taste. Then Mom's voice cracked into a shrill whisper. Don't do this to us, Sienna. Think about your family. Family. The word felt hollow, like an echo in an abandoned house. I stared at my daughter, bent over her drawing, cranes scattered like tiny shards of color on the table. She hummed softly, lost in her own world, oblivious to the storm unraveling around us. That was family, the kind that mattered. Mom, I said evenly, I am thinking about family. Mine. Her gasp was sharp, wounded, but I didn't flinch. I ended the call and slid the phone across the table, far enough to silence its relentless buzzing. By evening, the group chat had shifted tone. No longer frantic, it turned ugly. My brother's words appeared like knives on the screen. Ungrateful. Selfish. Always jealous. He even dragged my daughter into it. Maybe if you raised her better, she wouldn't care about a stupid cake. That line ignited something deeper than anger. A protective fire surged inside me. They hadn't just dismissed me, they had belittled her. My daughter. I took screenshots. Not out of pettiness, but preservation. Because words like that have weight. They reveal character. Later that night, as the house quieted, I sat alone with a notebook. I began listing every deposit, every favor, every financial bailout I had ever covered for them. The numbers added up like a grotesque ledger of my silence, tens of thousands over the years. I saw it clearly. They hadn't just taken my daughter's party. They had been taking pieces of me for years, carving me into a convenient shape. And I had allowed it. Not anymore. At midnight, I posted one sentence in the family chat. Just one. From now on, pay your own bills. The typing bubbles exploded instantly, a storm of outrage. But I didn't read them. I closed the chat, powered down the phone, and let the darkness of my bedroom swallow the noise. For once, the silence wasn't lonely. It was freedom stretching its wings. Morning came with the usual light slipping through my curtains, but everything else felt different, sharper, colder. My phone blinked with missed calls, voicemails stacked one after another like bricks in a wall I had no intention of climbing. When I finally listened, Mom's voice cracked with rage. You're tearing this family apart. After all we've done for you. After all they'd done? I dearly laughed. Every dollar I had spent for them, the deposits, the gifts, the emergencies, replayed in my mind like receipts burned into my memory. And yet, in their version of the story, I was the villain. By noon, my brother arrived unannounced. He didn't knock, he pounded. My daughter peeked through the blinds, fear softening her voice. Mom, Uncle's here. I opened the door but blocked his path with my body. His face was flushed, jaw tight. You're seriously going through with this? Canceling everything? After Mom begged you? I held his gaze, steady as stone. Yes. He scoffed, stepping closer. You're pathetic. You've always been jealous of me, jealous of Emma. This just proves it. Behind me, my daughter's small figure hovered near the hallway. I felt her eyes on me, watching, waiting. I straightened my shoulders, calm but firm. This isn't about jealousy. It's about respect. And you lost mine the moment you stole her birthday. For a second, he faltered. But arrogance doesn't vanish so easily. He jabbed a finger toward me. You'll regret this, Sienna. You think you can survive without us? Watch how fast the family turns against you. He stormed off, the slam of his car door rattling the windows. My daughter ran into my arms, her voice muffled against my chest. Mom, are we in trouble? I kissed her hair and whispered, No, baby. For the first time, we're free. As I held her, I realized something powerful. When you stop paying for someone's love, you finally learn whether it was love at all. The fallout came faster than I expected. By the weekend, whispers turned into open hostility. Aunts I hadn't heard from in months suddenly called, not to check on me, but to scold. You can't just abandon tradition, Sienna. Family needs sacrifice. Sacrifice. That word had been twisted until it meant me giving, them taking. At church on Sunday, I felt the shift. People I once greeted with warmth avoided my eyes, their smiles rehearsed, clipped. Word had spread, my mother made sure of it. According to her, I had humiliated the family, abandoned duty. No one mentioned my daughter's stolen birthday. That pain was invisible, as if it had never happened. But betrayal has a way of sharpening clarity. Instead of shrinking, I watched. Observed. I saw who crossed the aisle to embrace my mother and brother, offering pity, and who glanced at me with quiet confusion. That night, another message blazed in the group chat, this time from Mom. If you don't fix this, don't bother showing up at Thanksgiving. I stared at the words. Threats disguised as tradition. Exile dressed as family values. My daughter, sitting at the kitchen table with homework spread out, looked up at me. Mom, are we going to see Grandma soon? I hesitated. Then, steady as steel, I said, no, sweetheart. Not this year. Her face softened, almost relieved. She went back to her cranes without another word. That told me everything, even she had felt the weight of their false love. Later, I pulled out my notebook again. This time, not to list debts, but to draft boundaries. A plan. I wrote names, circled patterns, underlined lies I had ignored. And then, one final note to myself: revenge doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just stops showing up. I closed the book, slid it into the drawer, and exhaled. The storm was no longer outside me. It was within, waiting for its moment. The shift began quietly, almost invisibly. When you've been the family's sponsor for years, people forget the details: whose name was on which contract, whose credit had secured which deposit, whose money kept things afloat. They assumed it was theirs by right. But in truth, the threads had always been tied to me. 2 weeks later, I received the first frantic voicemail from my cousin. Sienna, the engagement venue says the balance isn't cleared. They won't finalize the date. Can you fix it? I replayed the message twice, then deleted it. The same day, my brother sent a text. Do you know the hall cancelled our anniversary dinner? They said the guarantor withdrew. That was you. Are you out of your mind? For once, I smiled reading his rage. Because he was right, I was out of my old mind. The one that kept enabling them. My mother called later that night, her voice trembling between fury and desperation. You're punishing everyone for one mistake. This isn't who you are. But it was. Or maybe this was who I had been all along, buried under years of quiet compliance. At work, I poured myself into projects I had long neglected. With no money funneled into family obligations, my savings began to breathe again. Each number growing in my account felt like a piece of myself returning. Meanwhile, the group chat was unraveling, blame ping-ponging between relatives. Screenshots leaked to me through a distant cousin who whispered, "They're eating each other alive now." That was when I realized I didn't have to lift a finger. Their empire of entitlement was collapsing under the weight of its own greed. One night, as my daughter snuggled beside me, she whispered, "Mom, I liked our party better." "Our party?" I asked softly. She smiled sleepily. "The one we had when we came home. Just us." Tears stung my eyes. In that single sentence, she gave me the truth. Love doesn't need balloons or banners. It just needs presence. And for the first time, I felt ready for the final act. Desperation has a distinct sound, a mix of pleading and poison. By the end of the month, the calls came daily. My aunt tried first, her voice syrupy sweet. "Sienna, honey, you don't want to be remembered as the one who destroyed family unity. Just pay the deposits again. Think of your daughter, she needs her relatives." I almost laughed. My daughter needed relatives who respected her, not ones who erased her. Then came my brother. He showed up at my door uninvited again, his arrogance cracked into something uglier. "You're making us look like fools. Everyone's talking. If you don't fix this, you'll regret it." I didn't step aside. I already regret wasting years funding people who never saw me as equal. His face reddened. "You think you're strong now? Watch how fast Mom cuts you off. You'll have no one." Behind me, I felt my daughter's small hand slip into mine. Her presence was the anchor that kept me from wavering. I met his glare head-on. "You already cut me off the day you stole her birthday. Everything after that is just noise." He stormed away, muttering curses under his breath. But I knew something had shifted. His threats carried less weight now, because I had stopped carrying them. That night, a final message appeared in the group chat, this time from Mom herself. "If you walk away from us, don't expect us at your door when life gets hard. You'll be alone." I read it twice, then set the phone down. For years, that threat would have gutted me. But now? I felt nothing but clarity. Because I wasn't alone. My daughter's laughter filled the room as she played with cranes and paper crowns. That sound was worth more than every deposit, every false tradition, every manipulative word. The family thought they were cornering me. But what they didn't realize was that I had already stepped out of the cage. And tomorrow, I'd make sure they finally understood just how free I was. The morning of Emma's rescheduled birthday, my phone buzzed with one last plea. A group message from Mom. Family is everything. Please, Sienna. Show up. Prove you still belong. Belong. The word lingered bitterly. For years, belonging meant shrinking, paying, obeying. I stared at the message, then slid the phone face down on the counter. Instead of driving to their party, I took my daughter to the lake. Just us. No noise, no glittering banners, no false smiles. She wore the powder blue dress again, insisting it wasn't ruined, that it was still hers. She twirled in the open air, giggling, sunlight catching the sequins like tiny stars. Mom, she said, spinning to a stop, this is better. I feel like the whole sky came just for me. Tears welled, but this time, they were soft. Because she was right. Love didn't need an audience, it only needed truth. Later, I mailed out a stack of envelopes. Each one held receipts, contracts, and screenshots of messages, a quiet archive of how much I had carried. They weren't sent with rage, but with finality. To my mother. My brother. My aunts. No accusations, no apologies. Just proof. A mirror they could no longer ignore. I didn't wait for replies. Their silence, or their fury, was no longer mine to carry. That night, as my daughter fell asleep, she whispered, Mom, thank you for choosing me. I kissed her forehead, my heart steady. Always. Poetic justice didn't come in slamming doors or shouted confrontations. It came in reclaiming what they never thought I'd take back. My peace, my voice, my daughter's joy. The family still circles in their drama, clawing at one another for favors and money. But their empire of entitlement collapsed the moment I walked away. And me? I stand outside of it now, watching the ashes scatter, finally breathing air that's mine.